Welcome back to CCSN Snacktime. Benjamin Parris and Matt Weiss. Got to add Max Weiss to the intro. He is a host of this show as well. Joined today by Myles Purchase, big basketball guy, big football guy. Myles, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Ben?
Doing well. I want to start right off with your football season, where you ended up playing offense, defense, special teams. Myles is the reason I've gotten so loud on most of those broadcasts. Such a dominant force on punt and kick returns. Just how much fun were you having during football season? Because every single time the ball was in your hands, it seems like you were scoring a touchdown.
Right. I had a lot of fun. I was just trying to play my role, do the things that my team needed me to do, and, having fun with it for sure.
So, Trenton Holiday played for the Broncos a little while back. He came to football as a sprinter, and at some point he had like an 109-yard return. And every single time he had the ball in his hands, he was returning it out of the back of the end zone.
Right.
What did you feel like every single time you were receiving a kick or a punt? Did you think there was a fair chance? Because every single time you were set to receive a punt, I mean, we without saying, everyone knew what might happen.
Right. I feel like whenever I get the ball, I could be dangerous. So I don't know if they want to kick it to me a little bit next year. I don't know if they want to do that.
No, yeah. Big thing there was that Pomona was the first team that would kick out of bounds. Why do you think, on the scouting or whatever, why it took teams so long for them just to kick it out of bounds?
I'm not sure, but Pomona was smart for that one for sure.
Yeah, I mean, well, following the end of the Fairview game, I would hope they learned. I mean, what was that? That was your 8th return of the season, the Fairview one, or 7th, maybe?
I'm not. I think maybe 7. 7. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Ben probably knows the answer to that. But, yeah, I mean, when that went up in the air, that Fairview game, it felt like, all right, this is our moment. And
right.
It was spectacular being a fan. That's for sure.
Yep.
Well, especially in that first Pomona game, when you had the pick six and then the return, just what do you think about your ability? Because it felt like all the time you were just taking over the football game.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm taking over. I'm not gonna take all the credit. My teammates put me in a lot of spaces. My coaches put me in a lot of positions so I can make plays. But yeah, we can say I took over a little bit.
And the last football thing I really want to ask is, in the second Pomona game where, I mean, it was taking everything, that was such a close game, and it took everything to win.
Right.
To be called out on the offense and get that touchdown, no one really – I thought it was James. I didn't even realize it until after you'd scored.
I watched that podcast, actually. Yeah.
I was like, oh, wait, it's Myles. How did that feel, just to do it on offense as well? Because, no one saw that one coming.
Right. It definitely felt good. It definitely felt good to do something on the other side of the ball. But, like I said before, I was just playing my role, and I ended up delivering for our team.
Yeah, I'm sure Pomona has nightmares about the Purchase, that's for sure.
Right.
I didn't even really know you that well your sophomore year, and whatever week that was, week 2 or 3, when you guys went on the road and you got that pick to finish the game.
Right.
So whatever controversy because you put the ball down when the play was over. But I enjoy the fact, especially given some of the social media post beating Pomona, that you have their number. But won't name any names, but adults know how to act a little better. So the other thing that you're shifting gears, and I'm sure Ben has another transition, but my daughter's right here if you can't hear her. But it's hard to tell, but I got to think that you have one of the best fashion games of all male athletes at Creek from head to toe. I had you last semester, and I don't know if there was a day whether it was a casual look with a sweatsuit, with some Vans, or dress it up a little bit with some joggers and those Jordan 5 that are gold. I mean, how much work do you put in? Do you enjoy the process of getting dressed?
Like my friends say, I guess I say I have the drip a little bit. I try to dress as well as I can. I really take pride in how I look on and off the field. So, yeah, I try to dress accordingly to my liking and stuff like that.
Are there any pro athletes that you kind of are inspired by fashion-wise?
I don't know. I really like how. Let me think about athlete. I like how Chris Paul dresses. I like how Odell dresses for sure.
Yeah.
So those are just two from both sports. So
I see the Chris Paul crossover there a little bit, both with your athletic talents, but also with the fashion.
right.
Those sunglasses you wore, I think, was it the state championship?
Yeah, that was state game. Yeah.
That was quite a look. That was a sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, my thing there is, does Casey play a big role in what you wear? Is it just all Myles?
Jeez.
I mean, I think I was dressing that way before I started dating Casey, but she plays a little bit of a role. She plays a little bit of a role in it.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yep.
So yeah, moving right on to basketball. From your perspective, how do you think the basketball season went? Because do you guys think you came right out of the championship and it took a little while to get gelling, but then you guys popped right up the rankings?
Right. The season actually was pretty well, except for the ending. But during the regular season, we had a really good season, probably one of the best in recent years, especially taking first in the Centennial League. But yeah, I think it went pretty well. It took us a little while, a couple of losses to gel together as a team. But when we got our gel together, we started rolling for sure.
And do you think there's a super big transition going from football to basketball, and the stuff you do to train, footwork and just awareness and stuff like that? Do you think that's
Right.
kind of stuff transfers over?
Right. Yeah, it is for sure a big transition. You got to get used to your body from going on a turf to hardwood. So yeah, it's a big transition, I would say.
I definitely see a lot of crossover. I mean, you're very talented on offense, and you have a killer crossover. And
Right.
we talk a lot about crossovers in my house. And there's a lot of videos of Iverson, different players. But I try to tell Max the thing that gets the job done and wins championships is defense. And I see a lot of crossover with your lateral movement in basketball, just like in football, is so helpful. And even I don't remember if it was the Eagle Crest game towards the end of the season. It was close. And you broke on a ball and got a steal at the end, just like in the Regis early in the season. But there's a lot of crossover. Are there certain drills that you do or things that you do that work on that specifically, or it just kind of at this point is part of your
Yeah, I don't know if I do any drills specifically for that, because I think it just transfers over from football to basketball.
Yeah, you got that first step. That's pretty. You can't teach that. I mean, that's
right.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, what do you do right now to stay in shape and stay training? I know anyone who probably sees your social media sees it all the time on Twitter and Instagram, but what are you doing right now to stay in shape while there's no sports going on?
I've been working out a lot lately. Actually, I was just working out at 12:30 with a couple of trainers. I was with my trainer. What he likes to say is called intense sports training, I.S.T. So yeah, I had a couple workouts with him over the past couple weeks. Arden's also been working with me. My brother's been working with me. A pro athlete's been working with me. Athlete at Wisconsin was just at the workout. So, just trying to stay in shape.
One thing I want to ask about that is you go to a lot of these combines. I know there's an Under Armour thing. We'll get to a story about that in a second. But what are those like to go to those combines with some of the best talent in, the state and in the region?
I mean, it just goes to show it's a personal thing for me to compete against people across the country and show how Colorado athletes can compete with them. And, I don't know how to say it, like to showcase our talent, like that we compete with all the people across the nation. Because I think Colorado is definitely one of the most slept on states with athletes across the nation for sure. So
it sure seems like your junior class is doing everything they can to make sure you're putting Colorado on the map.
Right.
It seems like every day for the past 3 months, all of you guys are just being recognized for, everything you've accomplished and all the hard work you put in. So, with another 18 months to go, for the future of Colorado athletics. I think you guys are doing a good job paving the way for them.
Yeah, for sure. I would like to say our class is the best class, 21, for sure.
You're in the hunt. I mean, there's no question. You're in the hunt for the argument, without a doubt.
Yeah, I'm not even in the class, and I have to agree with it. So
yeah. I was at Creek in the late 90s when they called it the Creek Mystique from 95. Well, all the 90s, but the late 90s, I was there. 8th grade, they won the Triple Crown. So football, basketball, our only basketball championship, male basketball championship, and baseball. I don't know why I didn't consider it lacrosse a Triple Crown then, but that's a different conversation. But, we had guys like Darnell McDonald, Tom Ashworth. I mean, a ton of guys who went up to Boulder. We went to their places, and we won football 2 out of those 4 years, state championship 3 out of the 4. But this group is in the running to be just as talented and leave just the same legacy as that group. And, some of you guys definitely have professional ability. Do a lot of people bring that up to you, or do you ever get that with alumni who come back and kind of want to remind you guys? It's almost like the undefeated Dolphins want to remind every team that they were the undefeated team back in the day.
No, I don't think most people don't mention that to us. Not yet, at least. Maybe in the future, but not yet.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Do a lot of alumni come back? Do they hang around when you guys are at practices or anything like that?
Joe Parker came to a couple of our practices towards the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, a couple of alumni have came back. But
I'm in a snack time. I'm going to start it with the Weisses today. What do you guys have for snack?
Okay.
I have seaweed and goldfish.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice, Max.
I'm dipping into a seaweed, and I was finishing off the second half of a peanut butter jelly.
Right. Okay. That's good. That's
Miles,
a good
what
snack.
about you? What about you, Miles?
Okay, I got some Mott's fruit snacks. These are my favorite choices of fruit snacks, but you got to deal with what you have. And I got a P3 with me, healthy snacks, trying to stay healthy. So.
I got pretzels today, just plain old pretzels. So,
all right, that's good. How
are you staying entertained? I want to really ask you: have you watched All American?
Yes, I have.
So, what are your thoughts on the show, and how do you think it really compares to your high school football experience?
I really like the show. I think it's based off a true story, so I think it's a good thing how the player actually went back to direct the show. But I really like the show. I really like Spencer James for sure. And the next season he's going back to Crenshaw, the Crenshaw team. So yeah, it's a real interesting storyline. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I guess we can have a little bit of similarities.
And what else do you got going on at home and stuff with your brother, anything like that?
Nothing much at home. I mean, I guess we've just been bugging each other. We've been playing basketball outside and stuff like that, but nothing much else.
Who wins?
I win. All the time. He knows he can't beat me.
One-on-one is a different game, and he's a little taller than you, so
right.
You never know.
Right.
Have you been watching The Last Dance?
I have, for sure.
What do you think?
I really like it. It's the best time for it to come out now. And it's been coming out with a lot of debates on who's the better player and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
you watch it with your dad?
Yeah. My whole family actually sits down to watch them together.
So when you guys watch that, what's the conversation like? Obviously, I mean, is your dad, everybody in that era had to at least somewhat be a Jordan fan.
Right. Yeah, my dad actually grew up in Illinois, so he's a real big Jordan fan. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And there's no question in our house that he's the GOAT to us. So.
But it's fun. It's been fun watching it and reliving some of that stuff and being able to share that with a family member and family that grew up in Illinois. That's cool.
Right. Yeah.
Now, I'll have to bug you about this because I've heard stories about it. Nike or tights or leggings, whatever, compression, whatever, at the Under Armour camp. I have to ask about it. What was the thought process?
Well, actually, I thought I was just wearing tights, and I thought they were covered up. I thought I had them covered up, but in the picture that Under Armour posted, it was showing. So I don't know. It was kind of bad. It was bad a little bit, but it's all right. It's all right. They weren't too mad about it. They weren't mad about it.
And then last thing for me is how's the college search going? I know you and a lot of guys on the team get offers at the same time. But yeah, how's that search going?
Right now, well, with this pandemic going on and stuff, we obviously can't take visits, but when I'm able to take visits, I'm gonna start narrowing down my choices, and I'm trying to get, I'm reaching out to more schools, trying to get more offers. So, I'm just trying to narrow them down. I don't really have a date for my commitment yet, but I guess I'm just playing it by ear right now.
Very good. Weiss, any last thoughts?
I was looking forward to watching you run some track this spring. It's okay. Hopefully, we'll have to wait until the fall to watch you and the rest of your team work your magic and defend your title. But, you know this, you're a humble kid, just like really all of you guys.
Right.
You handle yourself with so much charisma and maturity. For as talented as you are, you carry yourself very well. And, I just appreciate that because, you walk through the halls at Creek, you could carry yourself with a much bigger strut in your step and treat people differently because of all the things you accomplished, especially this year. There wasn't a Monday at school where, there wasn't something to talk about what Myles Purchase did on the field. And that didn't come off. You just are just a good guy and like being good to people, and you're a good friend. And just appreciate that we get to share you as a Bruin, and thankful that we get another year with you. So I just think it's good for everybody and young kids like this to have somebody like you out there to look up to, but then to see what kind of person you are off the court and off the field as well is pretty awesome. So keep in you. I know you will, but that's something as these teams consider you. You're the full package.
Right. Appreciate that, Weiss.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the show, Myles, and we will see you back on the football field in the fall. For
sure. I appreciate you guys having me.
Great seeing you, buddy.
Great to see you guys too. Great to see you, Max, my guy.